Josiah and Zoom are both quite capable, I would say, in terms of DPS. So while Shrugger and Ultimate Wep are certainly household names in terms of, Overwatch from about 6 months ago, guys have caught up in the meantime. So it's still going to be a tough one, I think.
Certainly the case here. Let's take a look at on the defense. Shrugger going to be on that Genji. We've got Ultimate Wep on the Tracer. And Zoom back to the Junkrat here. So this is what's up?
I'm afraid of Zoom's the damage that this man causes with the Junkrat, and I certainly, if I was +2 SR, I would be quite afraid of this at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he did play it brief. Or actually, the entire. I know it wasn't the entire time. I think he went to 760. He played it briefly on Sanctum of Nepal, and it looked pretty good for the most part. Was able to tear it up here, but ultimately, it looks like +2 SR actually holding on quite nicely. Good retreat back to the hotel, and we got Sugar kind of with a little bit of a flank here. Going to force Baldo out of the way. Going to divert a little bit of that attention. Meanwhile, they're kind of split up on the offensive push. Josiah is all the way around the hotel. The rest of the team to the side of where's Baldo all over the place here. Pulse Bomb comes out. As Weasel going to be demech'd here, but Shrugger now out of the mix. He's going to be brought right back up into this one, trying to get up to that ultimate as they have a Pulse Bomb ready to go from the side of Ultimate Wep. Valkyrie comes out now from the side of Convertible. Pulse Bomb able to find its mark. Zoom going to be taken down here. That's a nice pickup, but they lose their Diva on the defensive side of things here. He gets brought back up into this one, but Ruby now down. Shrugger with the Dragon Blade trying to clean it up for the squad.
And just barely whiffing on that last swipe to try to get the kill off on Convertible. Luckily, the rest of his team does converge and find that pick. Now it's all about trying to solidify this objective, and doesn't look like they're able to do that.
Oh man, Baldo comes through in the nick of time to be able to find the baby Diva, who is trying to get back into the mech here. And they have enough time to actually contest if they want to. They don't have the ultimate from Ruby, but Ultimate Wep is in the area. I don't think they're going to. Yeah, they're going to give that one up here. Look for a bit of a regroup here in the streets phase. Not a terrible hold by any means, but 4:30 is definitely a significant amount of time to work with. Now is Ultimate Wep looking for the flank play. If he can find the Mercy, they do know he's in the area now, looking for something. They find the Zenyatta. Pulse Bomb's out. Is Shimmy going to be taken down on the other end of things? We'll see if he's able to find anything. Ultimate Wep with the Pulse Bomb as well, not able to find a kill.
Now they're just trying to push their aggression. Josiah falling there, and now they're going to be able to push it to the archway where Homo for Hanzo is looking to try to get the most out of this Transcendence, and it's going to be tough now because they have to push out of this archway when they're down their really, really strong DPS, and they're somehow, Storm, able to do just that.
Yeah, where's Baldette looking really solid here and being able to deal with this DPS threat in Shrugger and Ultimate Wep, as Josiah and Zoom seem to have kind of stepped up to the plate here. Zoom on the McCree, of course, really trying to deal with Ultimate Wep and Shrugger ultimately on that. Now coming up on his Deadeye for the next fight here. But they've got 3:30 to work with here in the streets as we see the regroup come out here from the defense. They do have a Valkyrie to work with. Self-destruct out from Baldo. Connects onto Ruby of all people. That is the best possible situation here. Being able to come up with a kill there with that self-destruct here. Now they're going to go ahead and initiate with the Primal Rage out from Shimmy, but Ninja Nick going to be dropped on the Lucio. Remember, no Mercy in the area, but Shrugger turns around, finds Convertible as they look to make a hold.
Somehow hanging on to that one as they're able to find the reverse Mercy pick onto Convertible, who had Valkyrie up just as Ruby does as well, but hanging on, man. That was incredible composure there, and again, good stuff from the DPS, specifically Shrugger, who was able to get aggressive and jump into that backline and find that kill.
They're going to be able to hold on, a crucial hold at that. Curix's 2 minutes have now been elbowed off the clock there over the last couple of pushes in the streets, and it's kind of a bit of a walk here for the offense. So going to look to try to get it in the next push or two, try to get themselves at least a chance for the final phase of the map. If they can find something off this Deadeye, Zoom actually being contested a little bit by Weasel. And for an approach from the side, Deadeye is out here, but they've got a Winston going to knock him off that high ground advantage. They find Shimmy. Going to come in for the res more than likely. Is Zoom going to be brought back up into this one. Now Weasel going to be dropped out of the mech here. This is going to be good. They've got a Transcendence to work with if they want to. On the offensive end of thing, we'll see. They're actually going to go ahead and drop this one. Look to move in off of it here. Need a point presence. Need some damage on the payload here. They've got the numbers. They're going to see the Winston jump back into this one. It's just Shrugger. It's just Ultimate Wep. They're more than likely going to be taken down, and second checkpoint secured.
And despite some really solid aggression early on there, from the side of +2 SR. They were able to find some picks early, force convertible to pop that Valkyrie just to get those reses out. And also just really solid mechanical play from Shrugger to not pop that blade when he knew that that Zenyatta was holding onto Transcendence. It's just, again, not enough. You need to make sure that the team as a whole is able to, you know, do everything they need to do. And they do give up the objective, and it's still being pushed for quite some time there, but they are going to be able to mop this up here, Storm.
That's the Dragon Blade you were talking about. Shrugger getting them off to a nice start in this team fight. Still plenty of time to work with if you are Where's Baldette, but on the defensive side of things, they weren't really forced to use anything other than the Dragon Blade and came away with that victory here. So they've got every ultimate that they could want aside from this Dragon Blade. They're going to initiate with the self-destruct, looking for something, not quite going to find the Mercy, but an opportunity nonetheless. Pulse Bomb out, finds the Zenyatta here as Ultima Wep playing really aggressive up front here. He's got the support out of his back as well from this Winston, so they're going to be able to push him back once again into their spawn.
This is going to be a good stage of the map here for +2 SR, especially for Ultima Wep. The way that he likes to play this Tracer, just kind of finding these flank routes, getting in behind, and you can see him just going ahead and flicking around that corner with the emote and trying to get a little bit of vision. I don't think he actually gets it that way anymore. I think they patched that out. But either way, still putting in some pressure onto the Zenyatta here. Can he find the kill? Helped by the Mercy. They do find the kill with the help of Shimmy, but still at the price of a Tracer.
But Hurix, they tried to drop the beat at the start of the fight, but Ninja Nick was taken down before he could land. That was tragic and ultimately could end up spelling a little bit of defeat. I was really surprised they didn't really try to capitalize that hard on it, but they went ahead and popped the Valkyrie anyways from convertible. But nonetheless, finally, after about a minute and a half of holding, we're going to see a little bit of ground gained here by the side of Where's Baldette. They push out with the Transcendence towards that spawn here that we see out from the side of +2 SR. Now a Dragon Blade coming out from the side of Shrugger. Can he find the Mercy? Looking for him. Does grab him in the end. Gets onto the payload. Finds another onto the Tracer Hurix before parting ways with his life. Still, it's a battle of the tanks on the payload. The Roadhog is here. The whole hog is out. As Zoom tries to push them off and looking for something else. Zoom actually gets clipped there by the self-destruct, but they still have people here to contest, more than likely coming off of respawn, especially with Ruby back in the mix.
Well, Baldo falling out, Zoom coming back up off of the res, and now they're trying to go ahead and reestablish themselves on this objective here. Pushing the Ana back is going to be Ultima Wep. Actually, the recall coming out, sticking out, and not finding anything initially.
So they're going to go ahead and pop a Valkyrie as well from Ruby, keep them nice and healthy, but they lose the mech of the Diva. Could open up a little bit of an opportunity here for Zoom to find some kills along with Josiah, but they've lost too many lives here because I think they're going to be forced to back off of this one. Josiah and Baldo need to get out of here, need to die. Look for one final regroup with 15 seconds to go.
And again, Ultima Wep trying to get this Pulse Bomb up. Missed a little bit on the last one, but if he can find a nice pick to start things off here, he might be able to slow down the pace of their engagement just enough to allow them. Oh, a Pulse Bomb, that's a good one. Does indeed stick it to Zoom, but he's going to be able to get a lot of damage reduction out from going ahead and chugging away. But look at this, Shrugger. Can he hold on here with the blade?
The Nano Hog is out from Zoom, able to find one for himself here, but again, it's the Ninja on the other side. Shrugger, they've got the support of a Transcendence coming out as well from Ninja Nick himself. The numbers are here, convertible. We're trying to make it back in time, but I just don't see it happening for the guys. The overtime should tick down in a matter of moments. Lucio trying to wall ride to contest. He does actually manage to touch it. Mercy back in the mix, but no, not able to touch it in time. And that's going to be +2 SR, holding them about halfway through to that third checkpoint.
They actually did quite a good job on that first point. If we remember back, I mean, I was about to say look back, but unfortunately those replay features aren't in quite yet. So if we remember back instead, you know, if we can recall that Zoom actually did pull out that Junkrat. Now, on Sanctum, the Junkrat was incredibly lethal, and it worked out quite well for them. Now, here on Attack, on King's Row, did not work out so well. A lot of those sightlines were pretty much denied, and then on top of that, the supports there under fire almost constantly from Shrugger and Ultima Wep, given the fact that they were playing very aggressively with a dive-style defense. So it was pretty tough. Now, here on defense, you know, it's very likely that we see Zoom pull this one back out again. The Junkrat coming out, it seems like he's very comfortable on this pick. He likes using this. It seems like the team is very comfortable with having him on it. But it's just another question of how good is it going to actually be? I mean, is high ground going to be given away? Is that even going to be something of value, of merit in some regard? Because it doesn't seem like we're going to be seeing any kind of mid to long range hit scan in play anyways. I don't see a soldier coming out or a McCree, so that might not even be of any value. So if they all try to kind of pack down main, it could be a situation where Zoom actually does find some value with that Junkrat, but perhaps Shrugger, who is likely to be on this Pharah, and it's certainly possible that he does, as Ruby swaps back over to the Mercy in about 15 seconds or so, that the Junkrat is at least in some way lessened in terms of the impact that we're going to be seeing, because he's obviously not going to be able to touch that Pharah all too much, along with that Mercy who's going to be hiding up in that skybox.
They do break out that Zarya and Zoom back on the Junkrat, so we'll see what they can make of this one. It didn't quite work in their favor originally when they were pushing the point. Forced to change off this one, but let's do SR. Not going to waste any time getting aggressive here. It's going to be, oh man, Weasel way in the back here. Just gets blown to bits. Zoom is going to be dropped, should be brought back up, or they bring up Nitrogen. We'll see what they want to do with that one here.
Wow.
But regardless, the Widowmaker on the field as well, and this is just a bloodbath.
So not what I expected, going in with one tank, one healer, of course that being D.Va and Lucio, and going with 4 DPS. Again, like I said earlier in the day, or night rather, 4 DPS, 1 tank, 1 healer is not something necessarily new. We saw Team Envious do it on Route 66, but obviously that's a different style of team, I would say, than most would say some of these teams are, with Seagull on that roster as well at the time. So this is a little strange to see, but maybe it's going to work out for these guys, as we do see the initial fight going in favor of Josiah and the rest of Where's Baldette.
This Widowmaker really isn't finding a whole lot here. A lot of value. Might find a few hits every now and then, but ultimately not grabbing much here. So I'd be surprised if they stick with this one. Convertible just pops the ultimate. Ruby making his way back to the spawn potentially, as they're actually just going to stick with it. Look for another regroup here. Weasel made the move over to the D.Va now, so they made a little bit of a change up. Let's see what they can make of it as they start to move in here. Nitrogen gets a nice Zarya bubble, able to keep himself healthy, but Weasel caught way out of position. Earthshatter comes down, does manage to clip Ultimate Weapon on the side, which I would say is worth the charge into the wall, gets the Lucio, and the cleanup squad is here, Yurix.
I would say at this stage you need to start making adjustments, because, Shrugger is getting a lot of work done, but he just doesn't have the support that he needs from a Mercy. You also don't have a Mercy, which in this meta, I hate to say it, but it's kind of a necessity. It definitely,
for sure.
It doesn't feel good to say that and to realize that, but it's certainly a fact at this stage. So he is going to make that swap. Shrugger now going to have that extra little bit of assistance, as Zoom has already had the opportunity to swap. I mean, if they had the Mercy before, this might not have lasted as long as it has already.
Dead Eyes out, Sound Barrier to counteract a little bit of that damage, but Weasel in the back again. He gets caught out here. Multiple fights in a row. First, it was actually 3, I think. It was the Genji, and then 2 on the D.Va. He's out of position. No support from the rest of the... I don't know. Is that no support from the rest of his team? Didn't have Shimmy there. Maybe just some miscommunication ultimately, but he had his Sound Barrier at his back, and the rest of the team didn't seem to move in with him off of that, and now they're down to 72nd.
Now, I'm not sure you get this, because Convertible has Valkyrie, they have Grav from Baldo, they have the Transcendence, and you don't have enough weapons offensively to really kind of create enough pressure to really get anything done here.
And Weasel charged into all the way in the back. Nitrogen single-handedly takes care of him, and they hold on to a Valkyrie, they hold on to an Earthshatter. Of course, they pop the Transcendence in the Graviton Surge, but they're still looking favorable for this potentially final push with 38 seconds to go. Gonna have to put a lot of faith in Shrugger right now to get something done with this barrage, and maybe not even just the barrage. Maybe try to dislocate them with the concussive blast. We'll see what he can do with it.
Here it's going to be Zoom's job to try to take Convertible down to the ground level, if at all possible. If he can do that, this will open up an opportunity here for for Nitrogen to try to make a play, but he already threw out that hammer down. They already found some kills off of it, so they're already kind of ahead at the moment. Baldo already back up to 50% towards his ult charge, and Josiah somehow hanging on against Shimmy, forcing that Primal Rage out, and this is it. It all comes down to this.
Oh, Deadeye is out. Can he find his mark? Looking for the Lucio. Gets him. Hurix sets a tactical visor up top now as he finds Shimmy. Shimmy with the Primal Rage isn't able to get his way out of that one, and the full hold is in order as where's Baldette crushing +2 SR here in game number 1.
Yeah, and really not looking close at all there. I mean, it just seemed disconnected on the attacking side there, where we saw, you know, one tank, one healer, and not really empowering what was probably going to be a counter to what was anticipated. I mean, I'm not sure if they were able to actually get a glimpse of what we saw in the last set or whatever, but you know, certainly going into this, you know that the Junkrat is going to be a comfort pick for Zoom. You might want to expect it on defense, and if that's the case, you kind of know that Josiah is going to either go, you know, with Tracer or some kind of hit scan, and at that point, you know, you might think to empower Shrugger to try to, you know, displace him in the backline, try to put some pressure down onto that Zenyatta, you know, go with an aggressive dive, get Shimmy into their backline alongside some stellar defense matrix placement that is going to also help Shrugger as well, because if you can push them back into the arches, that defense matrix is basically going to cover everything. On top of just that extra pressure that D.Va provides since those changes, again, with those missiles that do a decent bit of damage as well. So I would say they had the right idea at the end. They just weren't able to do it early on enough. And Ruby on that Widow, while did get a lot of damage off, just wasn't able to actually find some eliminations, which at the end of the day, that's what you have a Widow for. And if you're not getting those, then, you know, what's the point, unfortunately?
Well, I thought it was Hollywood second.
Yeah, it is.
Was it not?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he said, isn't it Oasis? I thought it was Hollywood.
What?
Well, it's OW draft, so you really never know. Okay, so apparently it is Oasis.
Okay, so that's strange that both of ours, so it's Kings Row, Oasis, Hollywood, when I'm pretty sure on our screen it was Kings Row, Hollywood, Oasis. But
who knows, man? It's OW draft. It's OW draft. Being told to use warp meta, but I mean, I don't know. It's whatever. Should be a tool implemented into this game to be able to do that.
Oh,
if
yeah.
You're asking me, but you're not asking me. So we'll get into this game. We've got Oasis for game number 2. They did change sides here, so we do have Where's Baldette over on the blue, +2 SR on the red, and we'll see if they can pull this to a game 3.
So now, going into a match like Oasis, I would actually kind of expect Shrugger and Ultimate Weapon, the rest of these guys from +2 SR, to actually perform a lot better here than they did on Kings Row. I mean, there was a couple of times where we saw in fights where they just, you know, they did quite well considering, but it was just all about kind of map execution, going with the right composition, and then, you know, adapting quicker. So that kind of thing can hurt them in the long run, but we'll have to see. I mean, going up against Zoom here, who's going to have a little bit of time on the Pharah against Shrugger, we are going to be seeing that duel more than likely, but you know, this is going to be a map all about air superiority. Who can actually keep their Mercy rather alive, and stay alive longer than the opposition, because that's the name of the game here with the Mercies, man. Unfortunately,
I gotta give it to Shrugger though. I mean, it's Shrugger, man. But we haven't seen him for a long time, so you know, maybe Zoom can match him. Zoom's been impressive. I doubted him earlier, kind of on the Junkrat, and he showed up, to say the least. So we'll see if that's the case. It is a best of 3 on Oasis, as this is the finals, guys, with Where's Baldette up 1-0. They take this map, they will be crowned your champions here unexpectedly, especially after kind of being the underdogs in the semifinals and in the finals. Personally, I thought as well, but looking pretty good to get started, to say the least, as they already find Shimmy going to be brought back up into the mix, and Zoom finds Shrugger in the skies, and that's what I'm talking about. Zoom coming up clutch, giving his team air superiority and numbers advantage overall here, but trying to battle back, and now with Nitrogen out of the mix, they don't have much of a front line other than the D.Va gets back up into this one, and numbers advantage over to Where's Baldette.
Convertible now pretty low in the back line and somehow staying alive at the moment with Ultimate Web forced to pull out. And early control going over to Where's Baldette. Remember, though, that this is best of 3, not just for Oasis here, but also in the series. And with Where's Baldette up 1-0, it's going to be kind of tough. Oh, I need to actually swap this around. Whoopsie daisy. But
man, I even told you. I even told you.
Brainless, man. That's me.
Tier 4 production, guys. Tier 4 production.
Hell yeah.
That's like quick play cube. I'm not sure what that self-destruct was from yeah, that's Arcade, from Weasel. I don't know what that was, but it ultimately did not help his team out because it allowed for Zoom to just unleash the beast from within and secure yet another team fight because they're all over the place. So not the greatest play. I think he recognizes that. Now they've got an opportunity, but they don't have a sound barrier. They don't have the Valkyrie up yet, like we do see from the side of Where's Baldette, who are now sitting at nearly 50%.
50% and climbing too, because they do have those support ults ready to go. And already Baldo firing back what Weasel couldn't do. Baldo does, and he is a monster with those actually. I mean, even in the other maps that we've seen him in, he's actually been able to engage with Diva Bombs to a lot of success, tremendous success, which is a little out of the ordinary. So certainly, you know, that team name from before, Where's Baldo, is making a lot more sense. You certainly want to have an eye on this guy.
Man, I've been saying it. I've been preaching it. They found him. Now they're just looking for Baldette, man. We'll see if they're able to grab 20%. They've got a little bit to work with. Sound barrier coming out there from Convertible. They're going to go ahead and pop the Valkyrie on the other end of things. Weasel needs to keep himself healthy, but as I say it, a sound barrier. Oh, man. He is not looking healthy, man. They actually narrowly came away with that one. That kill onto his mech. Hurix is now up to 99%. Still pretty even in the skies. Ninja Nick going to be taking down Pulse Bomb on both ends. Going to find a kill for themselves as the reses are aplenty for both sides. Plus 2SR have to take this one right now. Self-destruct out on the point. Not quite going to be able to find anything, but it's going to come out from Baldo. Looking to find the Pharah in the skies. Grabs Ruby. Oh my goodness, that was a clutch self-destruct. Shrugger is alone on the point, along with Ultima Wep. Ninja Neck trying to get back into this fight. Ultima Wep going to be taken down, though, Hurix. They don't have anyone here, and round 1 goes to Where's Baldette.
It almost seems like Josiah is just going unchecked, and I said before that Oasis was going to look better from these guys, but man, it almost looked worse. I mean, Josiah, again, just completely uncontested, it seemed, pretty much throughout the majority of that map, and, you know, the air fight, which, as you predicted, would have gone much the way of Shrugger, just never really did. I mean, the ground game lost almost every time because Baldo and Nitrogen have just worked so well together, and we know that these guys can flop at any point, and Baldo can play the Winston, and Nitrogen can pick up the Diva, and it's much the same effect. So, I mean, I don't know. I'd be a little worried here because, again, this is potentially series point right here.
If we do see Where's Baldette take this round, they will be crowned your weekly number 75 victors, guys, so it's going to... and they're going to have to turn it up a notch, but Ninja Nick is forcing out that res so early. Not what you really want to see. Baldo on the verge of losing his mech, though. But Zoom, he finds the best. He finds Shrugger again to get this fight underway, Hurix. Not much you could do about that. And Josiah's follow-through onto the Mercy. I mean, what do you do at this point? They're just getting off to such hot starts and then continuing with this momentum as they secure the first points in just a matter of moments here.
And really, it does feel as though these DPS are just kind of free farming to a degree, because Zoom, you know, after he did win that fight against Shrugger, there's no one left to really deal with him, and it doesn't seem like they really have the right answers here. As you know, typically you would probably want to just go ahead and say, you know what, maybe this fight isn't working out, let's just try to counter. And there are certainly options available to you for that. Defense Matrix going to get low there for Weasel as they're trying to push in, and now it's going to come down to this fight again. Shrugger gets hit, but he actually finally makes a little bit of a trade, and not enough,
but it didn't
not
matter.
Quick enough. Exactly.
It didn't matter. Josiah is on a mission, man. You know, I said originally when we saw them in the semifinals, I was like, this is the guy to look out for. You know, not knowing that Zoom was going to be able to, you know, be on his level as well. But this is the guy to look out for. He's been tearing up AGs for months on end with teams in the past. I can't even remember the team names he was with, to be honest. I'm not sure if you do, Hurix, but Josiah is a monster on the Tracer and continuing to do just that. He's in the back looking for the pulse bomb, sticks the diva, gets the D-Mac. That's what I'm talking about, man. They're at 50%. There's no stopping these guys. Sound barrier comes out from Convertible, not quite able to connect onto Josiah, but Primal Rage out from Shimmy, trying to knock him off the map is the double kill. Baldo finds Weasel and Ruby in the air, and just like that, they flip it back in their favor.
So already what we're seeing here is down to 70%, where it's really going to come down to basically just one more fight. And you aren't, I mean, you're close, but maybe perhaps not close enough. Now, if we do see Josiah getting aggressive once again, getting some early damage into Ninja Nick, if they find this kill onto the Lucio before Sound Barrier comes out, that's it.
Oh, Ultimate Web down early on. Self-destruct. This is the final fight. All or nothing here. They've got a barrage up top. It's going to come out here from Zoom. Not quite going to get anybody other than Shrugger, but again, that's going to be a crucial pickup. Sound Barrier from Ninja Nick, maybe just a little too late. Ruby goes ahead, pops Valkyrie, but no, isn't able to get anybody up in time here. It's all about Zoom, who is controlling the skies right now. Shimmy's going to be taken down in a matter of seconds. Yes, there he goes. They've got Ultima Web, but I just don't think he can do it alone. Weasel now on the Soldier 76. Shrugger was taken out early on. He's back in the fray along with Ultima Web, who is still dodging around on the point, Curix. As they continue to funnel back into this point, they might be able to get a res as Ruby comes in for this one, grabs Shrugger, but they've got so many people on the point. Shimmy, overtime, nearly ticking down. He's back in this one. He's going to be taken down, and with that here, dare I say it, where's Baldette going to be able to take this weekly for the first time?
And in convincing fashion at that, too, beating out +2 SR, who are the #1 seed this week, given the fact that, you know, there wasn't too many teams from previous weeks available, but where's Baldette with a fantastic performance, and Aldo finally making an appearance, man.
I know, that was incredible, to say the least, to see these guys who, you know, I pegged them as a semifinal team, but I did not peg them as, you know, champions here. And destroying these guys across the board in the final. Congratulations to Where's Baldette for